Hi guys and welcome to Dial It Up, and today we are going to be talking about how to move peanut bases. Yes, peanut bases is something that have been in the game for a very, very long time. Actually, the last time we saw Valkyrie, before that, first time we saw Valkyrie in the game was the first time we got peanut bases. Now these are very interesting in the way that they actually move. And I'm doing this episode because between judging Canadian Nationals and playing in Origins, I noticed there's a lot of players that don't really know how these move across the map. In the fact that they take up 2 squares, it's not like your typical 2x2 or 2x4 or 3x6 multi-base characters. These, because they're smaller, it's a little finicky or a little more finessey in how you have to move them around. So I'm actually going to flip the camera around, go down onto the map, and show you guys how to move a peanut base around. So when we're moving around any multi-base figure, when you're counting your squares and figuring out your movement, where you want to go, you actually pick one square of the base that you're moving from and then move. And that's how you end up getting multi-base characters that can move through doorways that are only 1 square, is that you pick 1 square. Now, the more complicated thing about these guys, because of the shape that they are, is that you want to try and avoid something that ended up being dubbed back when these figures first came out, is you don't want to swing your butt. So basically, if you're going to be choosing the front of your base to move from, and say your movement is, since I only have a small bit of the map showing right now, say your movement is only like 5. So you want to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you move your figure there. Now, what I mean about swinging butt is that we counted to this square here. This is our 5th square. This is as far as we can move. But what tends to happen with these peanut bases is that they will get placed like this. That is swinging your butt, and that is technically cheating because now you've moved 6 squares instead of the 5 that you were supposed to move. So what you want to make sure is that there's about a I don't know, half circle that you can actually move with these characters without actually going past your movement. So you have to make sure that when you're counting your squares and then placing the actual figure, that you never go further than the square count that you counted. And trust me, I know this guy, it seems crazy, but I saw this countless times when I was judging Canadian Nationals, and I constantly had to correct characters. If you guys watched the stream, I'm sure you saw me do it, is that when you're placing the figure, just make sure you're not swinging that butt around to basically get an extra movement in. Now, on top of that, these characters tend to have this kind of cool ramming ability. Now, this is specifically to the peanut bases characters that came out in Avengers Defenders War, so Valkyrie like we have here, Black Knight, and Ghost Rider. Now, this only matters for these characters because of the special ability that they do have, and that allows them to move in a direct line and essentially attack all the characters they move through. Now, one thing that kind of got missed in with these characters and the movement, and as I said earlier, you're only moving a single square at a time. So when you want to be moving your direct line with these guys, even if you're originally placed like this, you still have to decide which of the squares you're using to count for your movement. So if you're moving your front, you're only going to affect the characters in this direct line. Even if there's characters in this direct line, you're not moving through them. Even though you have that double base, and I know it looks like you could do it, in the rules, unfortunately, you can't for these multi-base characters. You have to pick that one single direct line and then attack from them. So that's just something I wanted to tack on because of these specific peanut-based characters that came out in Defenders War with that ability. I saw it misused a couple of times, so I wanted to point it out for you guys. This is how it's going to move. So pick your square you're moving from, move count out your spaces, don't swing your butt, and when you're ramming people, you can only do it through one line. Okay, so that was a quick, simple little one for you guys on how to move around these new peanut bases, but as I said, with seeing multiple people that weren't around for the original peanut bases, I figured it'd be a good chance to let you guys know how to move these specific type of bases around the map, and specifically with the Offender Defenders more, how their ramming type abilities will work with having to only count a single square that they move through. But if you guys do have any comments, questions, or concerns, just let me know in the comments down below, and we'll see you guys next time for another episode of Dial It Up.